Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be saying about the ulnar attachment and the clinicals. And at last, I'll be saying about the important question your examiner may ask in the Viva. So let's start with the insertion. First, we have the triceps brachii muscle. Triceps brachii muscle is present in the rough posterior part of the superior surface of the olecranon process. So this is the olecranon process. In the superior portion, we have the triceps brachii. Then next we have the brachialis muscle in the anterior surface of the coronoid process. So this is the coronoid process, you know. So here we have the brachialis muscle plus in the ulnar tuberosity. So here also we have the brachialis muscle in the anterior surface of the coronoid process and in the ulnar tuberosity. Next we have the anconeus muscle in the lateral aspect of the olecranon process. So here we have the anconeus muscle in the lateral aspect of the olecranon process and the upper 1/4 of the posterior surface of the shaft. So this is the posterior surface of the shaft. So upper 1/4 there will be anconeus muscle. So these all are the insertion. So let's move into the origin of the muscles. First we have the supinator muscles. Supinator muscle is, this is the supinator crest we are having. So it is present in the supinator crest and in the triangular area in front of the supinator crest. So this is the triangular area in front of the supinator crest. So here will be supinator muscles. Next we have the ulnar head of the flexure digitorum superficialis, which arises from the tubercle in the upper end of the medial margin of the coronoid process. So this is the coronoid process. In the medial portion, see, this is the tubercle we are having. So from here the flexure digitorum superficial muscle origins. Okay. Next we have the pronator teres muscle in the medial margin of the coronoid process. So here in the tubercle there will be flexure digitorum superficialis and then the margin will be pronator teres muscle. Next we have flexure digitorum profundus muscle. Flexure digitorum profundus is present in the upper 3/4 of the anterior and the medial surface. So this is the anterior surface and this is the medial surface. So here the full upper 3/4 part will be present, flexure digitorum profundus, even in the medial surface of the coronoid process. So this is the medial surface of the coronoid process. Here also you will get, and even in the posterior border of the shaft through the aponeurosis, which also gives origin to the flexure carpi ulnaris and the extensor carpi ulnaris. So it is present in the posterior border. So you know this is the posterior border. So here also little bit is present. So flexure digitorum profundus is present in the 3/4 part in the anterior and in the medial surface of the ulna. Next we have pronator quadratus muscle. Pronator quadratus muscle is present in the oblique ridge. So this is the oblique ridge in the anterior surface. So here we get the pronator quadratus muscle. Next we have flexure carpi ulnaris in the medial side of the olecranon process. So this is the olecranon process. In the medial surface we will get and in the posterior border. So here also we will get little bit. So here we will get the flexure carpi ulnaris muscle. Next we have the external carpi ulnaris muscle in the from the posterior border. So this is the posterior border, you know. From here the extensor carpi ulnaris muscle arises. So these all are the origin and the insertion. So next we have the other thing. So interosseous membrane. Interosseous membrane is present in the interosseous border. Interosseous border means in the ulnar lateral border. Okay. So you will get the interosseous, the sharp border. Here you will get the interosseous membrane. Okay. Next, oblique cord, it is attached in the ulnar tuberosity. So this is the ulnar tuberosity. Here you will get the oblique cord. The capsular ligament of the elbow joint is present in the margin of the trochlear notch. So this is the trochlear notch that is between the olecranon process and the coronoid process. So here you will get the capsular ligament of the elbow joint. So next there is the annular ligament. So annular ligament of the superior radioulnar joint. So we know here there will be superior radioulnar joint and the below there will be inferior radioulnar joint. So superior, it is attached to the radial notch of the ulna. So this is the radial notch of the ulna. From here the radius bone attached. So here the annular ligament of the superior radioulnar joint attaches. Now the ulnar collateral ligament of the wrist is present in the styloid process. So this notch is the styloid process, we know this projection. So here there will be ulnar collateral ligament of the wrist. Now the articular disc of the inferior radioulnar joint. We know here down the inferior radioulnar joint forms with the radius bones, attaches to the apex to the small rough area just lateral to the styloid process. So this is the styloid process, just lateral to it. Here there will be present of the articular disc of the inferior radioulnar joint. Okay, so this all are about the insertion origin and the other muscles or other ligaments and the disc. Next we have the clinicals. So what are the clinicals? First we have the dislocation of the elbow. So as we know, the elbow is formed by all these three bones, humerus, radius and the ulna. So produced by the fall in the outstretched hand with the elbow slightly flexed. So elbow will be slightly flexed, and if you fall with the outstretched hand, then there will be a dislocation of the elbow. Olecranon process. This is the olecranon process of the olecranon process. It shifts to the posterior and the posterior part, and the elbow is fixed in the slight flexation. So this olecranon process comes in the posterior part. But normally in the extended elbow, tip of this olecranon process with the epicondyle of the humerus. So here this is the epicondyle of the humerus. As you know, these two are the epicondyle. So here like this the ulnar joints. So here with the apex of the olecranon process and with the two epicondyle, it forms the equilateral triangle. So if the dislocation happens in the elbow, then this this figure means this equilateral triangle gets distorted. Now next we have the Madelung's deformity. Madelung's deformity is that dorsal displacement of the lower end of the ulna. So the lower end of the ulna get displaced due to the retarded growth of the lower end of the radius. So these two are the clinicals. Now next let me say you the important question which your examiner may ask. First is that what type of joint you get, means how many type of joint you get in the ulna and the radius. So you have to say that a superior radioulnar joint and inferior radioulnar joint, what type of joint. Then you have to answer the synovial pivot type of joint. Now next they will ask you about the attachment, especially the attachment of the shaft they may ask. So this all are the all about the ulna. So I hope you liked it. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel. And yeah, follow me on Instagram for more updates. And please check my previous videos. Thank you.